Hi you guys, happy Friday. I have a second video for y'all today about a story time, a pretty juicy story time at that, about when someone tried to steal my client's spirit guide and how it played out. This is juicy, it gets messy. This is something that you will hear about a lot. I've noticed that people try to do it the most in espiritismo, or they like try to do it through espiritismo, because we're talking about someone's spiritual core, right? Like at their own boveda, and it completely messes them up. But anyway, because that's not really how espiritismo was meant to be worked. And y'all have to remember, especially when we're talking about spirit guides that might be from like Cuba or Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic, that some of them actually practiced espiritismo when they were alive. So, or voodoo, because I see people do it with the law as well. I'm not a mambo, so I don't really, as far as readings and consultation goes, I don't really venture into the law when advising other people. But I hear about it. You know, I have friends and family and stuff and other traditions, and people just, spirit guides and the law is what they try to steal for the most part. What happened was my client came to me over a span of about 6 months when this was going on. And the first reading, basically it was her wanting a second opinion on if this girl who she thought was her friend was working her. Which is good to do. You know, as a new witch, it's always good if you suspect that you might have an enemy. It's always good to double check that it's the person that you think it might be, just because you haven't began to work through and understand all of your gifts yet, or your main gifts. So your emotions can cloud your judgment. You'll gaslight yourself, or you'll assume it's the wrong person. A bunch of stuff can happen. So that's what she did. She came to me. And immediately, I open up the reading, and my Gitana is telling me what's going on. She's like, yeah, this girl, her quote-unquote friend, it's her. She's trying to attack this girl, and she's also trying to take this girl's Gitana. She has an entire shrine to so-and-so. She named my client by name, to her Gitana. And she knows her by name, and your client's Gitana's name is so-and-so. And my Gitana's like, let this play out. About 6 months. But she said, let it be. Let that Gitana spirit do what she's going to do. And that girl's life is going to be upside down within 6 months. She told my client to cleanse herself, to stay on top of her spiritual maintenance, to limit contact with this girl. But my Gitana told her, you're going to have to see her one more time at least. And I want you to do it and play stupid, because there will be a shrine to insert her Gitana's name here. What happens? Exactly that. My friend goes over to her frenemy's house, compliments this shrine. She's like, oh, what is this? Her frenemy is like, oh, it's a shrine to my Gitana. My client's like, well, what's her name? Sure enough, my client's Gitana's name. My friend was like, oh, that's a beautiful name. First of all, her frenemy was stupid, because you never, ever tell anybody your spirit guide's name. Now, if you're going to somebody like me, and it comes up in the reading that they want you to call them this, that's one thing. Because number one, I will never, ever use that against y'all or to your detriment. Number two, I'll probably forget, because half the time I'm at least halfway mounted. And number three, I'm just not going to do that. But other than that, you keep that to yourself. I don't care if it's your best friend that you've had since kindergarten. Do not tell anybody. Okay? It's just, if nothing else, it's out of respect and privacy. It's okay to have privacy when it comes to your spirits. But this girl had, it was an altar. It was a shrine. Okay? It would make Hecate jealous. And then she had, my client said she had this little tiny Bovada in the corner with dust on it and moldy coffee. Oh, but the Gitana shrine that she tried to steal had fresh coffee, fresh hot chocolate, fresh milk, fresh wine, juice, even Kool-Aid. I'm like, Kool-Aid? She's like, yeah. Jewelry, perfume, tarot cards. Beads, beaded jewelry, Maha perfume, Florida water. It looked like a botanica for gypsies, a one-stop shop. And this goes back to what I have told you guys 15,000 times, not to make shrines for your spirit guides. Even though this spirit was not the frenemies. Y'all know what I'm saying. Why? It makes them earthbound. And what happened was this girl was giving and giving and giving and giving to the shrine. And the more physical items that she gave this Gitana, the more earthbound that spirit became. And it was easier and easier to mess with this girl's life and turn it upside down. And that's exactly what happened. She lost her house. She lost her job that she loved, her relationship, her marriage, her sense of self. Everything. I'm not joking either. Because you guys have to remember, number one, what I see the most when people try to do this crap, they always try to steal spirits or spirit guides that energy does not reside with them within their spiritual court. And deep down they know it. It's like that's why you have to fucking steal it. Right? But if your vibration doesn't resonate with it, it's going to turn your life upside down. And it's like, this is exactly why God did not give you a Gitana. Because he knew how you're going to treat that energy and how you're going to mishandle it. Like, you see this girl getting blessed in the way that Gitana spirits bless. Because they're all different, like I always say. But at the end of the day, they all have very similar characteristics, right? They like to bless a certain way with certain things, and anyway, it's complicated. But you can't try to take that spirit and bribe them and make them earthbound and think that you're going to get the same blessings that the person they belong to does. It's just not going to happen. They're giving their spirit guides candles, the staples, right? Candles, water, flowers, food and coffee occasionally as needed, as is appropriate. Prayer, healing, love, attention, care, doing it from a heart and spirit-led place. And you're sitting here just throwing stuff at the shrine. Just every week. There's a difference. But my Gitana said to my client, let it play out. Cleanse yourself, stay on top of your maintenance, do what you have to do to protect yourself, but don't freak out. Because what this girl did not realize is we are talking about a group of people who were enslaved. This also happens with Madama and Indigo spirits as well, because both, as we all know, Africans were enslaved, and also a handful of Native Americans were as well. In the Caribbean, in the US, in Mexico, a bunch of different places, South America, indigenous people have been enslaved. So when you try to capture and control and dominate and deceive and bribe an energy that already dealt with that crap in life, oh no. They're not going to like it. And let me be clear, I am talking about when you are trying to steal someone's spirit guides within their spiritual court that the divine gave them at birth. I am not talking about what happens when you go to a cemetery and get a muerto that you don't know from a can of paint, and you send it at somebody and they set it free, or they try to steal it for themselves or whatever. No, I'm talking about what God gave you. That's what I'm talking about. We can get, the whole muerto thing. I'm going to let the elders and Paulo kind of, they have a lot of videos on that. But I'm talking about espiritismo. Okay? Because it's two completely different situations. And the Gitana that this girl tried to steal knew what she was doing too. And she would periodically let my client know, hey, I'm still here. I'm still with you. We got to get through this. You're going to learn some things, and she's going to learn some things. But her Gitana was like, but don't you ever do this crap. Because you're going to see how it ends. And what's fucked up is at first, this Gitana was giving it to her. Blessing her. Business success. Nights out. Going out 4 or 5 times a week. She had a husband, and then she had boyfriends. She was a busy, busy woman. I think she even had a sugar daddy. Yep. Abundance, prosperity. Just all those good, feminine, luxurious, yummy things, right? That Gitanas love. Just pouring it on her. And that's how she got hooked. And she kept giving and giving to that shrine, and she kept receiving and receiving, and then that Gitana was like, now I'm going to drag you. Just to teach her a lesson. That's what they will do. Work with what God gave you. You'll be much better off. And just because it looks like somebody is getting blessed heavily, and you know that they tried to take your spirits, remember this story. And as an espiritista, I can see all this. And it happened exactly how my Gitana said it would. Because she knew. She probably lived a very similar life as this girl's Gitana spirit guide. under similar conditions, you know, the same racism, the same sexism, the same hardships. But their spirituality is what got them through that. So they're not stupid. They might act like it. But Romani women are very cunning. We're very calculating. A lot of us are old souls, so we'll play stupid all day long, but we know. We know. And while we love nice things, we also, a lot of us know what it's like to be poor. So it gets kind of difficult when you've been poor. One of the good things, and this also is something that one of my Gitanas told me and explained to me. When you've been poor, if you're a good person and you navigate life on the righteous path, even when you're up and you climb out of it, it makes it very hard for someone to bribe you and make you sell your dignity. Because you're always going to remember when you were poor and you survived it. So you're not easily bribed. Because you know, even if you lost it or you miss out on it, you can gain it again and again and again. That's how you transmute poverty. That's how you elevate. These tricky spirits will give you the entire world. Whole time you're fucking up your soul. And we haven't even gotten into what happens to your spiritual court when you try to do this. Imagine how they feel. Like, what, we're not good enough for you? You gotta try to go steal somebody else's muerto? Really? Really? What, for a few nights out and some pee-pee and some dancing? And some money? So you're kind of screwing yourself over from two different places. So, I think I pretty much explained it. You know, work with what God gave you. There are spirit guides that some of y'all have that I can see and feel and talk to when I do your spiritual court readings that I don't have. At least at this time, you know, because over our lifetime, different spirit guides will reveal themselves to us. But either I don't have them or I haven't met them yet. So they're not in my life. As far as I know and I can see. Right? I don't get jealous. I have what I need. And they have proven themselves to me over. Like, give your spirits a chance to prove themselves. Give what God gave you a chance. And this is coming from me. I'm in Palo. I'm a Yaya. I do work with muertos. I do have connections and relationships with muertos outside of my Quadra Spiritual that God gave me. But I still make time for what I was given. And I don't try to take someone else's. And I got a lot of spirits. A lot of the readings that I've ever gotten, it comes up. You got a lot of spirits. There's always at least a bunch around you. And it's true. I walk in a room, there's about 10 people behind me. I don't care if I'm just going to the grocery store. They coming. Somebody's around. Somebody's walking with me. Okay. I know I got pretty fiery about this. I just, as an espiritista, I know how it makes these spirit guides feel when people try to do this crap. And, I want y'all to make better decisions. Because all that good luck that is giving you is a trick. And it's gonna run out because you tried to steal her. But, gotta learn somehow. Alright? If you guys would like to book your own spiritual court reading, or you need a consultation or something, you can click the link in my description and contact me. That is the only way to book with me at this time, because my schedule is changing all the time. It's just easier. And I like to get to know you guys. Like, I like to know who I'm talking to. I like to, you know, have some amount of rapport before we decide to work together. You know? It's just, I think it's better for both of us. That's just how I run things for myself. Okay? I love you guys. Thank you for listening. Bye.